Greetings and welcome to the adventures of the Big Blue Motorbike Dog and friends. If you are returning, welcome back. Please do like and subscribe, it really helps out our tiny little channel a lot. The Big Blue Motorbike Dog has a Joe Rocket high visibility Phoenix jacket in black and yellow covered with all kinds of patches, but the most common patches are BMW patches. He refers to this armored jacket as his Harley-Davidson jacket, because he thinks it's funny, and is pointing out that brand loyalty is something that Harley-Davidson has in spades. As the Big Blue Motorbike Dog is an avid fan of BMW motorcycles, of course those are the patches that he sports on his jacket. In his riding career, he has owned several BMWs including a 1972 R75 fifths, 1984 R100 RTP, 1998 K1200 RS, 2003 R1200 CLC, and a 2011 G650 GS. These are not however the only bikes that he has owned, and ownership has included many brands including his original two-wheeled motorized transportation, a 1979 Vespa P200e. He has been riding motorcycles since his teenage years, and has put on over 500,000 miles on motorcycles. There are riders who do significantly more than that. The average of 3,000 miles per year on a motorcycle means that many riders in the same age group, who have also been riding the same amount of time, would average 105,000 miles. There was a break between 1989 and 1997 that the Big Blue Motorbike Dog did not own a motorcycle and did very little riding, after a serious motorcycle wreck. That will be the subject for another video. It's important to note that experience and skill, although related, are separate attributes. Usually someone with a lot of experience has a significant amount of skill. There are examples however where someone has a lot of skill without many years of experience. A good example of that is the young riders who participate in racing. Amazing skills, far beyond that of the Big Blue Motorbike Dog. Watching the Isle of Man TT road racers is truly a sight to behold, with skill and talent that is exceptional. What the Big Blue Motorbike Dog takes a lot of pride in, is being a safe motorcyclist. That was one of the primary drivers of the adventures of the Big Blue Motorbike Dog and friends. Safety, awareness, and advocacy. There's a problem with motorcycling in the United States, and that brings us back to that jacket at the beginning of the video. The motorcycle manufacturer with the highest number of sales, by far, in the United States is Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson sales numbers are continually slipping, meaning that they are selling fewer and fewer motorcycles every year, and not seeing the return on investment that the industry, or Wall Street, wants them to have. The problem has been identified quite clearly. There are fewer motorcyclists than there used to be. What is worse, is that the majority of motorcyclists, who buy Harley-Davidsons, are older males. By that I mean over the age of 50. The younger generations, specifically Generation Y and Z, the Millennials and Zoomers, are not buying into motorcycling the same way that Generation X or the Boomers did. Of course there are reasons for this. The primary reason seems to be financial. In the 1980s a well-used motorcycle could be acquired for about $1 per cc. So if you wanted a running, mechanically sound, but not great-looking motorbike, you could get a 500cc street bike about 10 years old for about $500. Today, a similar used motorcycle will cost between $2,500 and $3,000. New motorcycles in the 80s were also significantly less expensive than they are now also. I don't think that is the only thing keeping younger potential riders away from motorcycles however. It's a really exciting time in motorcycling. There are a lot of different kinds of specialized motorcycles. There are new electric motorcycles that are getting very capable as in-city bikes, and doing much better with range. There are so many choices and groups out there that almost everyone could find a niche that suits them. So what is keeping generations Y and Z away from riding? I think it's a pretty long list. Metro living. Many of the younger generations are living in cities, where congestion and owning a vehicle gets more expensive than the suburban or rural living Generation X riders experienced. Traffic congestion, while reduced by the addition of motorcycle riders, provides a perception of more dangerous riding, frustration, and is easily replaced with public transit and private transit, i.e. taxi, Uber, etc. The financial crisis of 2001 and the housing crisis of 2008 are still fairly recent, The earning power of the younger generations is much lower in comparison to that of Generation X and the boomers, with less disposable income, and higher costs with which non-executive pay scales have not kept pace means that a recreational vehicle, like a motorbike, becomes a luxury that just isn't practical for many. Why buy a motorbike that can carry one or two people, subjected to a higher risk of crash, higher fatality rates, and being completely exposed to the weather, when for the same price, an automobile can be purchased, which seats 5 people, while still having carrying capacity for groceries or shopping, and includes a heater and air conditioner? Then there's the culture that exists in American motorcycling. The stereotype of the American motorcycling culture is one propagated by popular cinema and television. Think Sons of Anarchy, The Wild One, anything that portrays bikers as dangerous, tattoo-covered individuals riding loud, customized Harley-Davidson motorcycles who fund their lifestyle through criminal activity. There tends to be a dominance of misogyny in language and behaviors that goes along with this culture. The real biker tropes tend to follow this, and the older male Harley-Davidson target buyers unfortunately still are participating on many levels and in many ways with this stereotype. Examples of this still being propagated are easily found at any motorcycle rally. Shops will carry merchandise which reflects these values, including t-shirts with phrases such as "if you can read this the B word fell off," patches, flags, etc., that all follow along these lines. There are phrases like "cute scooter," "when are you going to get a real motorcycle?" that also tend to be mostly at the big V-twin motorcycle geared vendors. It's far too common to hear degrading or belittling language towards female riders. This is not a culture that is conducive to promoting riding to younger generations, to women riders, and to those who are more accepting and progressive on social issues. Especially when the reality that the fastest growing segment of riders right now is women. Is there any wonder why the majority of new women riders are not interested in American big V-twin motorcycles or the culture that goes along with it? Harley-Davidson, being the market leader in the USA, has a responsibility to change the culture of promoting loud pipes, the Wild One image, and misogyny into something that promotes riding to younger generations, including women riders, and manufacturing motorcycles that are easy to learn on and ride. Once upon a time the Buell Blast filled that role of the entry-level bike for Harley-Davidson, but it's gone, and their tiny bike is an 883 that weighs in over 500 pounds and costs $10,000. All too often Harley-Davidson dealerships continue to sell the big twin merchandise mentioned earlier, and tends to cater almost solely to the over 50 male crowd that has been its bread and butter. As that generation retired from motorcycling, of course the company who bases their entire well-being on them, will suffer also. Promoting riding is a major component of the advocacy included in Adventures of the Big Blue Motorbike Dog and Friends. Motorcycling needs to reverse our trend in losing the amount of people who participate, who are interested, and who can keep our favorite hobby from fading into the past. Motorcycling needs to welcome new riders, and provide a culture that encourages new riders, women riders, and young riders to join our ranks. Female riders may very well be the salvation of motorcycling in the United States, so why there isn't a massive push by all motorcycle manufacturers aimed at women is completely bewildering. Half of the members of Adventures of the Big Blue Motorbike Dog and Friends are female and, of the 3 founding members, 2/3 are female. Little Pink Pigtailed Monster and Blue Bell. Promoting motorcycling to all new riders, including females, is a core component of our purpose. Yes, we look like Muppets or stuffed animals riding on motorbikes. Yes, we want to be seen and have friendly and polite interactions with the motoring public at large. Yes, we want to promote safety in actions and protective gear. And yes, Adventures of the Big Blue Motorbike Dog and Friends wants to promote motorcycling and invite new riders to join our ranks as riders. Motorbike riding should be a thing that lasts for generations to come, and return to the culture of "you meet the nicest people," as the Honda slogan used to go. All potential motorcyclists should be welcome, and we as the motorcycle community should promote a culture that not only accepts, but invites and promotes new motorcyclists, mentors them and encourages them. The old stereotype culture of belittling, misogyny, and posing as the 1%, criminal motorcycle gangs, in order to feel like a real biker, needs to be a thing of the past in order to keep a healthy and growing motorcycle culture. If you ride a motorcycle, it's up to you to recruit new riders. Thank you for watching our video.